On a suffocating summer night in 357 BC, the royal palace of Pella lay silent under the weight of heat and darkness. Inside her chamber, Queen Olympias drifted into a heavy sleep, unaware that destiny was about to speak to her in a language only the chosen could understand. Suddenly, the quiet of her dreams shattered. She saw the night sky rip open, torn apart by swirling storm clouds. From that celestial breach descended Zeus himself, towering, radiant, terrifying. A glowing thunderbolt pulsed in his hand like the very heartbeat of the heavens. Olympias could not move. She felt frozen, suspended between awe and dread, as the god hurled the blazing bolt directly at her womb. The shock jolted her awake, her skin still tingling with phantom heat. She knew instantly this vision was no illusion. It was a prophecy. Her child was marked by the gods. Not long afterward, King Philip II entered her chamber unexpectedly. What he found shook him to the core. Olympias lay asleep with a massive serpent curled intimately beside her, its scales glimmering as though lit by moonlight alone. Priests across the kingdom insisted this serpent was Zeus in sacred form. They interpreted the omen bluntly. The queen carried a child of divine origin, but they also warned Philip to tread carefully. Mortals were forbidden from witnessing the gods' secret visitations. To do so was to invite punishment, even for a king. Yet Philip was convinced the gods favored him, and destiny soon strengthened that belief. During the siege of Potidaea, 3 messengers arrived to his camp in a single day. The first brought news that Macedonia's general Parmenion had crushed the Thracian Arians, securing the kingdom's northern frontier. The second announced that Philip's prized horse had won an Olympic race, bringing immense honor to the king. The third, breathless and trembling, delivered the message Philip had long awaited. Olympias had given birth to a healthy son. To Philip, these 3 victories, military triumph, Olympic glory, and fatherhood, could not have aligned by chance. They were divine proof that his lineage was chosen. But the world itself seemed to respond to this birth. On the same night, hundreds of miles away, the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, erupted in flames. The blaze consumed marble columns and sacred offerings as if some cosmic force had commanded the fire itself. Priests later claimed Artemis abandoned her temple to witness the birth of the child destined to reshape the world. And thus the legend of Alexander began. Not in silence, but in thunder, prophecy, and flame. As the Temple of Artemis burned through the night, the people of Ephesus watched helplessly as one of the grandest structures ever built crumbled to ashes. The flames danced higher than the temple's marble columns, devouring artwork, offerings, and centuries of devotion. By dawn, the once glorious sanctuary lay in blackened ruin. Rumors swept through the city like a second wildfire. Some whispered that no ordinary fire could have destroyed such a place. Others claimed that Artemis herself had vanished from her sacred home because her presence was needed elsewhere, at the birth of a child destined for greatness. The Persian Magi, renowned across Asia for their mastery of celestial interpretation, took the omen far more seriously. These wise men gathered under torchlight, studying ancient scrolls, astral patterns, and the timing of the disaster. Their conclusion struck fear into their hearts. A boy has been born who will bring turmoil to Asia, a conqueror whose shadow will stretch from the mountains to the sea. This prophecy would haunt Persia for decades, and history would later prove it true. Meanwhile, in Macedonia, King Philip continued his campaigns, his confidence inflated by divine omens. But the gods do not give without taking. They had not forgotten what Philip witnessed, Zeus in sacred form within Olympias' chamber. During another assault on Potidaea, the king rode at the front as arrows rained from the battlements. Philip surged forward with fearless determination until a single arrow tore through the air and struck him directly in the right eye. He collapsed immediately. Blood streamed down his face as soldiers carried him to the medical tent, panic spreading through the ranks. The renowned surgeon Critobulus worked urgently to save the king. He succeeded, but the eye was lost forever. Philip emerged alive but half blind, marked by a wound that would define his appearance and remind him daily that one does not intrude upon the realm of gods without consequence. As Philip recovered, the mystique surrounding Alexander only deepened. The triple omen, the burning wonder of the world, the Persian prophecy, and the king's divine punishment all converged into one undeniable truth. This newborn child was destined not merely for leadership, but for world-altering greatness. The gods had spoken, and the world would feel their decision. While myths surrounded Alexander's birth, the reality that greeted him was anything but celestial. The palace of Pella, magnificent on the outside, was a labyrinth of ambition, rivalry, and treachery. Bloodshed had paved the way to Philip's throne, and bloodshed would continue to determine who survived within the palace walls. It was into this volatile world that the future conqueror was born. From childhood, Alexander learned that royal life was less about luxury and more about vigilance. The court was full of competing factions, noble families vying for influence, rival queens maneuvering for advantage, foreign envoys weaving subtle traps, and ambitious generals spreading rumors like wildfire. Even as a boy, he understood that danger could come from anywhere, from a smiling courtier, a servant, or even a supposed friend. But Alexander possessed something extraordinary, a mind far sharper than his years. He listened more than he spoke. He observed everything, the tension between generals, the whispered secrets in the corridors, the shifting allegiances within the palace. He learned quickly that leadership required not just strength on the battlefield, but mastery of human nature. Olympias, fierce and ambitious, filled him with tales of heroes and gods, insisting he was descended from Achilles and Heracles. Philip, though often distant, pushed him toward excellence, reminding him that true kings earned their place. This clash of influences, motherly mysticism and fatherly pragmatism, shaped Alexander into a unique blend of dreamer and strategist. The omens surrounding his birth ignited expectations, but they also cast a long shadow. Everyone watched him closely, some with admiration,